Welcome back to the channel. Purchased this piece off of Facebook Marketplace for $25. It's in pretty poor shape. The top is all scratched up. Everything's scratched up. The top has stains on it. So there's missing veneer. If you can see the corners of those drawers, chipped veneer. Tape all over everything. These corners of these drawers are missing. So it's in pretty rough shape, but we're going to try to get it fixed. These corners were my main concern. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to fix them. I'm not the best at doing this stuff, but I think they turned out well. So you'll see later in the video what I did to fix those corners. And then there's a patch job. These little veneer chips are pretty easy to fix. I just use some wood filler, fill them in, and sand it smooth when I'm done. This is what I used to fix those broken corners. Turned out to be pretty easy. You just form this putty as close as you can to that corner, and then when it's dry, you come back in with a palm sander and sand it flush. While those things were drying, I cleaned out the drawers and removed drawer pulls and these little metal strips that were on the two center drawers. I wanted to get rid of those. I didn't like them. After everything had dried, I came in with my palm sander and 80 grit sandpaper and sanded the entire piece down and focused a lot on these filled spots to make sure it's nice and smooth. Sanding this putty once it's cured can be tricky because it likes to sort of melt and not sand properly if it's too thick, so you got to be careful with it there, but I think they turned out pretty well, and those broken pieces are pretty hidden once I get this painted. After getting everything sanded, I noticed the top had some discoloration, some darker spots. I wanted to try to even those out, and the only thing that I had around that might do that is this wood bleach. It didn't work, but it's fine. It turned out okay. The wood bleach works if you want some lighter wood, but it didn't even out any of those stains, which was disappointing. But like I said, it turns out okay at the end. After the bleach had dried for 24 hours, this is what I came back to. It's very uneven. It's not what I wanted to see, but I still had to go through with a 220 grit sandpaper to remove all that bleach residue, so there's still hope. I really wanted to save this wood. I liked the look of it. I wanted some wood grain on this piece, so I'm doing everything I can to try and save it. My hope at this point is that once I sand it, the dark stain that I chose would blend everything in. So I was just sort of crossing my fingers at this point. And after I sanded it, this is what it looked like. It's not too bad. That's some dark spots right there, but in the end, the dark stain does hide all this stuff. Can't see any of it, so I was happy with the results. After sanding everything with an 80 grit sandpaper, then a 220 grit sandpaper, I took a wet rag and wiped everything off to get it ready for painting. This is the paint I started using on all of my furniture pieces. I really like it. The Sherwin-Williams Emerald. It's really good paint. It blends really easily. It dries very smooth. And when I went in to buy this, I asked them what they recommended as a top coat for it. They said they don't recommend anything. It's an enamel paint and it dries really hard. So you can believe that if you want. I didn't put a top coat on this. In my opinion, all painted furniture is going to get chipped or scratched. It's just inevitable. But if I can save some time and money in the process, I'm going to. I really liked the finished look of this paint, so I didn't want to ruin it with a top coat either. After the paint had dried, I used a 320 grit sandpaper and lightly sanded all the painted surfaces to remove any rough spots. It's necessary for a smooth finish. I applied 3 coats of this black paint and sanded in between each coat. I used polyurethane to protect the wood grain pieces. I applied 3 coats. I sanded with a 320 grit sandpaper in between each coat, just like I did with the painted pieces. I did order these drawer pulls off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description down below. But I was really pleased and kind of surprised with the way this turned out. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.